Garlic breast milk.
I've got a fever, and the only prescription is more autism.
And the Church of the Profiteering Prophet.
All this and more on this week's episode of New Sensation.
Hello and welcome back to New Sensation, where we spin the globe, we put our finger on it, and we decide whether we want the scran, the weather, or the human rights.
Or the what else was it, Chris?
Bringing you through the craziest stories from this week in news, I'm Chris Patel.
And I'm Matty Curry. And Chris, what a week it's been. You've been away?
I have been away.
Yeah, with the boys.
Yeah, I've got the worst case of post-holiday blues. Hopefully this podcast is going to cure it, because the cold snap that I felt immediately upon passing the sign that says the Northwest in block caps, like some kind of health warning. But yeah, Cornwall was a beautiful part of the world, like sunbathing weather, which cannot be said for Manchester, let me tell you.
Cannot be said for Manchester. Good Lord. We had some torrential downpours in the last week. Anyone who saw the United-Chelsea game know what we're talking about. That was as messy a game as the weather has been. Let me tell you. It's been rough, it's been scruffy, but we've been getting through.
We have. And you can help us get through too, because if you see any news stories that you think we may want to cast our eyes over, then you can email us at newsensationpod@gmail.com.
That's newsensationpod@gmail.com. Or you can also follow us on our social medias. You might be finding us through those already. But if not, give us a follow on our TikTok or our Instagram. Our Insta is @newsensation. And our TikTok is @newsensationpod.
And if you're a frequent scroller, you might well have seen some stuff to do with our first story, Matty, our top story today.
Oh, indeed. Our top story today, we finally figured out what's wrong with me. That's right, we're talking about the Tylenol tykes of the States. Pop quiz, folks. What did New York University bioethicist Art Kaplan call the saddest display of a lack of evidence, rumors, recycling old myths, lousy advice, outright lies, and dangerous advice I've ever witnessed by anyone in authority?
Buzz. New sensation?
Oh, close. It was, of course, the President of the United States saying that pregnant women should not take Tylenol, or as we know it in this country, Paracetamol, because it will give their children autism.
We've cracked it.
Have we? So we'll get onto this. But first of all, I'd like to say, as somebody who often ends up dealing in things relating to sort of like copyright and all this different stuff, really, really bold for Trump to come out and talk about Tylenol, which of course is the
brand name.
And so lawsuit pending. If you're going to refer to medicine in this country, it's paracetamol. It's sold under paracetamol. We don't have it's not under anyone's ownership or copyright at the moment. But we realised very quickly why he went with that approach, because him trying to say the American scientific name was
acetaminophen.
Acetonide. Al-Baghdadi. It was like him trying to like announce which member of Islamic State they've just assassinated. It was rough, and it made me realize, okay, I see why he's taking on the lawsuit. Tylenol did take a massive hit. I think they lost $2 billion in their market value.
My gosh.
Yeah, the next day it bounced back because the entire scientific community went, "This is bollocks."
Yeah.
Yeah, so it came alongside other claims that vaccines in quick succession for babies could also lead to autism, which, it should be stated, has no medical evidence behind it.
I mean, did you see what they do with Melania and Donald did with Barron?
What did they do with Barron?
They spaced his shots out. They were like, oh, we'll give him a few months to let him get over one and get over the other. But as you say, the best scientific method, proven scientific method, is all at once.
Yeah.
So that you can be getting... You don't want to wait a few months. You want to get your immune system going.
So this is the thing. It's like, I think there's an actual conversation to be had about the fact of it's like, well, some people want to space it out in case there's a reaction. They want to see, because then you can know what the reaction was to.
Some immunosuppressed people have to space them out.
Yeah, for sure.
Most people know.
No, exactly. And also the main reason why it's completely ridiculous is because the research shows that autism develops in the fetal brain, which a baby doesn't have anymore. They have what we call a human brain developed. So what about paracetamol then? While the research doesn't back it up either, with many finding no concerns, and that's according to autism expert. Yes, that's right, David Manel at Penn.
That's one for our LinkedIn's after this episode, I think. Right there with business enthusiast. And as Marty suggested before, public intellectual. I don't think we're quite there yet.
Public intellectual, business enthusiast, and autism experts. Hosts of New Sensation. So the Society of Maternal Fetal Medicine, which again, what do they know, has pointed out that the confusion likely lies in the fact that it's hard to separate the effects of paracetamol use and high fevers during pregnancy. So the fever that prompts the taking of paracetamol is much more of a risk factor, with fevers, especially in the first trimester, increasing the risk of miscarriages, preterm birth, and other problems. So what they're basically saying is like, well, these people took paracetamol and their kids have had like massive problems. It's like, yeah, why did they have to take the paracetamol?
It's so funny that we have done the research and are explaining this scientifically, because it will have come from Trump's brain as a kind of poison whispered in his ear and like a throwaway remark.
Yeah.
He has definitely not been like, well, it's really hard in pregnancy to distinguish between the effects of high fever. And no, he's just like, oh, I heard it was Tylenol. Yeah. He's that guy down at the pub that you now have to listen to because we have the internet.
Oh my God. The guy down at the pub is like... someone was pointing out how sometimes Michael Owen in interviews sounds exactly like that. Like his apple throwing into the bin moment. Like, I just had to do it. You know, it's like...
I had the courage to miss.
I had the courage to miss. And I had my mum like sending me upstairs because I've just like stained the wallpaper. The bloke at the pub, I'm somebody who I used to have like a lot of patience for that. Whereas I was like, yeah, mate. Yeah, no, absolutely. Now I've become really just sort of like worn down by the internet. I'm just like... No, not doing it. Not dealing with it. Not my deal.
Like, the cost of society is noise.
Out of it.
Different pub.
Now, speaking of costs, Kenvue, who own the Tylenol trademark, and I'm sure are looking at their lawyers right now and licking their chops, said in response to Trump's claims that pregnant mothers who choose not to take paracetamol are then caught between riskier, more potent painkillers and suffering fevers, which, as we've said, can lead to serious problems for the mothers. So basically, Trump's pushing people into a very dangerous, narrow corridor.
Yes.
And saying, here you go, have fun. But as we all know, this administration doesn't care about pregnant women.
It's more based on vibes with health policy. Like, I mean, we had the Florida vaccine mandates being rolled back.
My goodness,
just based on vibes, like
pure vibes.
Admitted that there was no kind of, they'd not done a study to revoke these. And RFK Jr.'s health proclamations, which I'm sure we'll get onto.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So this new step in the Make America Healthy Again program, MAHA, is just more ridiculous sense from the American Health Secretary, RFK Jr.
Yeah. If you want to hear more about RFK Jr., we did a story on him in our first episode.
We did. RFK, friend of the show. Long acquainted with New Sensation.
Knows the inside of a pharmacist very well.
He what? Anyway, he's a married man. The British Health Secretary, meanwhile, Wes Streeting, came out immediately on Lorraine. Brilliant. ITV daytime telly, serving up a lot of stories for New Sensation recently. I don't know if it made the cut in one of our prior episodes, but we were having fun in our own private time at Ryland's expense for his misinformation on immigrants. But yeah, no, on Lorraine you get the proper stuff, because Wes Streeting came out and has urged expecting mothers to ignore Trump's remarks. I've just got to be really clear about this, he said. There is no evidence to link the use of paracetamol by pregnant women to autism in their children. None. In fact, a major study was done in 2024 in Sweden involving 2.4 million children. I know you want to have a big number for your case. That's a lot.
2.4 million.
Yeah, and it did not uphold those claims. Now, probably most poignantly, he said, and this is my favorite quote of the week, don't pay any attention whatsoever to what Donald Trump says about medicine. In fact, don't even take my word for it as a politician. Listen to British doctors, British scientists, the NHS. And I'm like, I respect someone who kind of goes, look, even I'm dubious with anything I'm going to say. Listen to the experts. And I think that's the advice you've got to take going forward. Now, speaking of experts, we are in a really interesting moment for America, because with their overturning now of both cancer research funding, and now saying that Tylenol causes autism. They're in what you could see as a scientific crisis. Now, Ed Davey said at the Lib Dem conference earlier this week, whilst critiquing the Reform Conference's favourable view of Trump's mRNA vaccine policies, which, if you don't know, is sort of like catered cancer treatment. Ed Davey said the UK should step up and say, if Trump won't back this research, cancer research, that is, we will. And Keir Starmer's Global Talent Task Force are already on it. So they're said to be looking at cutting visa application fees to zero for foreign academics and digital experts, which is a complete reversal of the US's increased fees under Trump, which have risen to $100,000 for skilled foreign workers to get a H-1B visa. So the current global talent visa in the UK, which came in 2020, £766 per individual, which partners and children also have to pay, plus an additional £1,035 on average to cover health costs.
That's strange, that, because if they're working, presumably they're paying national insurance.
Yeah, but
or is it for pre-existing things?
Yeah, but I think I'm not sure whether if you have a visa, you fall under national insurance. Don't you have to get citizenship to fall under national insurance? Or am I getting this completely wrong?
I don't know.
We don't know. And that's the exact kind of cutting-edge journalism you'll find on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Basically what they're saying, they want to cut these costs entirely, which is promoting what I think is one of the funniest things that the British government is doing right now, which is the greatest sort of sweep of a country's scientific knowledge since the Nazis, where the states kind of went, oh, what's our biggest weapon against the Nazis? The Nazis. Their anti-Semitism is going to just play right into our hands. All these like great Jewish minds are going to come over here and develop nuclear weapons for us. NASA entirely founded both on those that came over before, during, and after World War II to develop rocket technology. And it's so funny that the nation who basically built the playbook on pinching other people's best minds is now going to have all their best minds pinched, because already a lot of their best cancer doctors have already gone to China.
I mean, we've seen with the Trump's stance on autism, it possibly has been inspired by one Andrew Wakefield.
Well, yes.
Yeah, if you don't know Andrew Wakefield, he was the disgraced NHS surgeon who published a paper claiming a link between the measles, mumps and rubella vaccine and colitis, and then between colitis and autism. Mm-hmm. And it was found that he had basically manipulated the data, and he also held a patent for a rival vaccine at the time, and he'd made millions from selling testing kits for a condition that he'd made up. So we booted him, and now he was at a Trump ball in 2017.
Oh,
so,
of course he was.
Yeah, but
him and Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this is the thing, is that you start to look at like where the money is then going to go, and it's like, well, are they going to advocate for an alternative medication? And it's like, well, then, okay, well, who's then in charge of that medication? Who's got the patents? As soon as you follow the money, it gets ridiculous.
Exactly.
But yeah, basically, to summarize, if you want to beat cancer, you should fund cancer research, not cut it.
If you want to tackle the lack of garlic breast milk on your store shelves, then maybe you should be paying attention to the Ig Nobel Prize. Yes, that's the competition where they laud the most ridiculous scientific discoveries. It's like a new sensation for science, really.
It really is.
So it started in 1991, and they aim to first make people laugh and then make them think. And the award ceremony features miniature operas, scientific demos, and then lectures whereby experts must explain their work twice, once in 24 seconds, and then in just 7 words.
Wow. Garlic breast milk.
Garlic breast milk, garlic breast milk, baby.
You still got 2 more words, I think. You count breast milk as one.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's cutting edge.
That is cutting edge. My new invention.
So we've got a list of 2025's winners here, because the contest took place on Thursday. So in biology, we've got a lot of names. I think
Lord.
This is out of Japan. For their experiments to learn whether cows painted with zebra-like striping can avoid being bitten by flies.
And what was their finding? That it was a massive success?
Yes, it significantly decreased both the number of biting flies on the cattle and the animal's fly-repelling behaviours.
Wow.
So yeah, paint yourself stripy.
So maybe this is the advice for, like, because I mean, Britons already find themselves looking rather interesting when they go abroad. Because I mean, with how people apply sun cream, they do end up quite stripy. It's just red and white candy cane stripes as opposed to like a zebra stripe. Maybe that's the approach, actually, is that's trying to stave off mozzies.
I think so. Well, chemistry, we've got eating Teflon. whether it's a good way to increase food volume and hence satiety without increasing calorie content. They got the gym bros eating Teflon.
The gym bros will eat anything though at this point, right?
Honestly, yeah.
The Teflon slot bowl coming to Carver soon.
What's that guy who's I can't hit my protein? He's like, like 60 salmon fillets.
7, that's insane.
Yeah, no, I think that would kill you.
I'm notoriously a salmon hater.
Are you? Well, you're a big tuna fan, so
I'm
that surprises me.
a big tuna boy. I love like loads of different kinds of fish. I'm a fishy kind of guy.
Matty likes things, dislikes things that you wouldn't expect him to like certain like minorities. He's not a big fan.
Wait, whoa. I thought we were gonna have the conversation about the fact that you're such like. Everyone looks at you and goes, "This guy's gonna love cheese." Like that's a cheese enthusiast, and I hate cheese. And I won't eat
this is the type of guy to get a milk moustache at 11 p.m. at night, where you're just raiding the fridge. You see him half illuminated, like Gus Fring in the fridge light. But anyway, physics.
Right, physics.
The physics of pasta sauce, especially the phase transition that can lead to clumping, which can be a cause of unpleasantness.
I like a clumpy pasta sauce, though. I want to know I'm eating it.
Clumping,
I want to get into it.
I want to stick to the sauce. I want that starch to come into
play.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This podcast has just turned into MD Foodie Boys. You know the podcast with those kids where they've all got they're all just talking about food. They had Lil Yachty on the other day.
That is amazing.
One of them is just he's called McLovin. He's never tried any food. He's like, "Yo, carrots sound fire. I need to try that."
That is big McLovin behavior, though.
That is big McLovin energy. Engineering. How foul-smelling shoes affects the good experience of using a shoe rack.
I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, folks. For the people at home, this is a vulnerable moment. My feet have always stank. My shoes, rotten.
Yeah,
disgusting. And I need people to know this.
Sometimes I cough during episodes. You now know why.
Well, not when I've just been in socks in the day. That's ridiculous, Chris. First of all, you're saying no. Hang on. There's accusations being leveled against me right now. But go on. Continue.
Shoe odor is a universal problem, even in India.
Even in India? Hang on, wait.
All that heat and humidity mean people perspire profusely while engaging even in moderate physical activity.
I like the idea that someone would assume that India would be exempt from this in the first place.
I guess there's a lot of people who don't wear shoes as much as they do in the UK and India.
Perhaps. You can't go around the UK not wearing shoes.
You can't. It's not allowed.
It's not. You go to jail.
Yeah.
You get straight
outside of Scunthorpe. That's illegal.
If I saw someone walking around the streets, on British pavements that are famously uncomfortable. British pavements. With your feet at, I'd be impressed because it sometimes you see because even the monks wear sandals. Because sometimes I think I see you see monks around the place. I'm like, are your feet not hurting? But it's just a triumph of I don't know, their spirit that they're able to kind of just walk on the brutal British cold, damp pavements covered in gum and broken glass.
Speaking of spirits, aviation.
Now we're talking.
The Aviation Prize for studying whether ingesting alcohol can impair bats' ability to fly and also their ability to echolocate. Echolocation is so funny to me. Just if humans echolocated, just looking at one going, ah! And figuring out where they are.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense in so many different ways. It's like playing a big game of Marco Polo.
We couldn't have bats tequila without bats either, because they pollinate the agave plant.
Wow, that's so true.
Yeah.
Were then they giving the bats tequila as an homage?
They
or?
were given liquid food with varying amounts of ethanol.
Okay.
The bats that received liquid food with the highest ethanol content took longer to fly the length of the corridor.
I want to see a bat after eating too many rum baba, bro. This is gonna be
the quality of the bat's echolocation was also adversely affected. It's it's like a karaoke, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a bat drunk driving.
Although I think a certain number of beers, maybe two beers, makes you better at karaoke.
Well,
two or three beers.
Interesting, yeah. But do bats have the 5 and drive rule? What we talking about?
When the fun stops, stop.
When the fun stops, stop. So
Psychology Prize, investigating what happens when you tell narcissists or anyone else that they're intelligent.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you, if you tell me I'm intelligent, I'm there for it.
Matty will go on a hinge date with you if you tell him that you're intelligent.
That is also a proven scientific fact these days, yeah.
The results confirm most of the researchers' hypotheses.
Yeah.
So maybe they should have experimented on them. That's so arrogant. In general, participants gave lower estimates of their relative intelligence after completing the IQ test, which provided an objective check of sorts.
objective check.
Yeah, well, IQ test.
IQs
I don't
aren't
think I don't think it's very objective.
No. It's balderdash, poppycock.
Nutrition, to studying the extent to which a certain kind of lizard chooses to eat certain kinds of pizza.
I'm the lizard eating certain kinds of pizza. I eat a pizza with cheese in it and I go, ooh, and I eat a marinara and I'm happy.
The authors came up.
They came with a new language.
My echolocation's been severely impaired. The authors came up with this idea. One fine sunny day at a Togo seaside resort. Wow. The authors noticed a rainbow lizard stealing a tourist slice of 4-cheese pizza and happily chowing down. So rainbow lizards like 4-cheese pizza.
Okay.
So they
what are my
tested
marinara lizards? Are they chameleons?
I think they just tested it on 4 cheese and 4 seasons, which are weird choices.
4 seasons is so what's on there? Sherry. Did it impair their vision and their ability to move around? What's going on?
This story is such a fever dream. We're nearly there. We're at pediatrics.
Our specialist subject. So we've got because famously business enthusiasts, autism experts, public intellectuals, and pediatric forethinkers.
Pediatric forethinkers. For studying what a nursing baby experiences when the baby's mother eats garlic.
It's so good. I'd love that. Garlic goo.
Garlic milk.
Garlic milk?
Whether the consumption of garlic altered the odour of a mother's breast milk.
Yeah.
And if so, whether those changes affected the behaviour of nursing infants.
Knowing how much the UK are fiends to that Domino's garlic and herb sauce, I'm telling you, those babies are having a good time.
Mothers who ingested the garlic capsules produced milk with a perceptibly more intense odour. And the babies are not telling them this.
No. Is this what French mothers do? I think all French babies have garlic breast
blue
milk.
cheese milk.
Oh.
Whoa.
What?
Those who
nothing better than Chris coming on the show with his own story and being like, "Whoa!"
Just reading this, like,
What?
"Whoa, this is so
That's
interesting."
insane.
Like and subscribe. The mothers who ingested garlic, the infants whose mothers ingested garlic, attached to the breast for longer periods and sucked more when the milk smelled like garlic.
Yeah.
Boom! That I think is worthy of the Nobel Prize.
I agree, dude. Garlic is the best. I'm a big garlic boy. I'm a marinara pizza
You
boy.
took 3 babies in a flannel shirt. Garlic is the best.
No, but
Yeah, do you want to hear literature prize?
I do want to hear
Because
literature
we're getting
prize.
near the end of the alphabet. But wait a minute, P comes before L. Oh no!
No, it's not an alphabetical list.
No, it's an infinite
we
list.
got one more. We got 2 more.
We got two more. The late Dr. William B. Bean. Willie Bean won the prize in literature for persistently recording and analysing the rate of growth of one of his fingernails over a period of 35 years.
What does that have to do with literature?
Did he have just one really, really long fingernail?
I think so.
Wow.
That's like that's like every guitarist.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were
No.
going to say.
I pump faked that's the opposite of what you want. A guitarist.
They don't know me, son.
They don't know me, son. That's the move that made LeBron James cry.
So
yeah.
he sprinkles his...
What?
It's interesting because this is scientific, but he won literature. So
Yeah.
he did keep detailed records of how fast his fingernails grew, claiming in his final reports that the nail provides a slowly moving keratin chymograph that measures age on the inexorable abscissa of time.
Well, this is the thing. Maybe they're like, actually, it's a report that's profoundly dumb and useless, but it's really well written.
This sounds like you, Matty. He sprinkles his observations with ponderous references to medieval astrology, James Boswell, and Moby Dick.
Yeah, with a dash of curmudgeonly asides bemoaning the sterile modern medical teaching methods.
So what did Bean discover? Well, he noted that his growth rates remained steady early on, but slowed down a trifle, direct quote, over the last 5 years of his project. And he debunks the folklore of hair and nails growing even after death. It's just the retraction and contraction of skin post-mortem.
Ah, thank God. That's been playing on my mind.
I can rest
so
easy
much.
in my coffin now. And
wait, retraction, contraction of skin. Now I'm an individual where that's like kind of scary because there's a certain aspect of me.
No way
where
you're
the
going
retraction,
there.
The retraction, contraction. That's like whoa.
Do you want to tell the story?
Who won the Ig Nobel Prize for peace?
Well, the Ig Nobel Prize for peace was won by Fritz Renner, Inga Kersberg, and Matfield and Jessica Worthman
Wow.
for showing that drinking alcohol sometimes improves a person's ability to speak in a foreign language.
So all we found out is that this entire thing has just been another round. It's been Thomas Vinterberg's Drook from 2019 just being played out over and over.
No way you are bringing up Dogma.
It's not Dogma. Well,
That's not Dogma.
So Vinterberg was
That's
one
where
of the
I know that from.
Okay, so Thomas Vinterberg was one of the founders of the Dogma 95 movement, but that film does not classify as a Dogma film.
We'll have to cut this up. I will quickly explain.
No,
in
we're
case
not
we
going
don't.
to explain this. We're going to move on.
Right, fine. And yeah, so they found that it improves your ability to speak in a foreign language, I guess. They recruited 50 native German-speaking undergrad psychology students, sounds like a party, Maastricht University in the Netherlands, who were also fluent in Dutch. They randomly divided into two groups. One gets alcohol, one doesn't. Each consumed enough to be slightly intoxicated after 15 minutes and then engaged in a discussion in Dutch with a native Dutch speaker.
God forbid a man get a little bit Dutch after a few drinks. It's about Dutch courage.
Maybe it's a very Dutch time in my life.
Yeah, very Dutch summer.
They were asked to rate their self-perception of their skill at Dutch afterwards. And they were surprised to find that the intoxication improved their Dutch fluency based on independent reports. And self-evaluations were largely unaffected by intoxication levels. So, yeah. But it's not all silliness, guys, because, you know,
This is
the world's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Not all sunshine and rainbows.
September 2009... no, that's boring.
You've got to pick the part of the story that you want to tell.
You've got to pick the really interesting part. A study in 2006 showing that one of the mosquitoes that carry malaria is attracted equally to the smell of Limburger cheese and the smell of human feet. Earned the Ig Nobel Prize because now they put cheese traps out for mosquitoes.
Wow.
With Limburger. And also, Andre Geim won the Nobel.
Oh, a guy.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Won the Nobel Prize in physics for his research on graphene.
Okay.
And I'm saying half the words wrong in this story.
No, that's you're doing okay.
And he also shared the physics Ig Nobel in 2000 for the magnetic levitation of a frog.
Wingardium Leviosa. That's beautiful. I mean, the entire Ig Nobel Prize is built for this show, but there's somebody who I think is deeply ignoble, and it should not be winning any prizes for it. Yes,
Not even Intervision. I don't know who won that.
We don't know who won.
We don't know who won.
We're going to have to find out. Meanwhile, I'm going to talk you through the Unification Church of South Korea, which was technically found in North Korea and had a big stint in the States for a while, and then was in the Soviet satellite states in the 90s, and it's been all over. But really, the big story this week is that their leader has been arrested because of a, let's just say, dubious connection to South Korea's quite notorious former presidential regime. That's right, the leader of the Unification Church, which is the controversial Korean Messianic movement, has been arrested amid allegations that the church bribed the wife and former First Lady of former President Yoon Suk-yeol. Now, the former president is himself behind bars right now. He made headlines around the world last December for his briefly imposed martial law.
Oh.
Yes.
Otherwise known as the worst day at work you've ever had. Literally had to go home and explain that to his wife. Like,
yeah,
honey, what did you do today? Oh yeah, martial law. And what? I can't even remember what the reason was.
Oh, shits and giggles, I think.
It's all shits and giggles to someone giggles and shits, Matty.
It's so true. And he really giggled and shat the bed on this one because the Liberal-led legislature scaled fences of barbed wire to get into the legislative sort of building of in Seoul and to shut the martial law down in one of the coldest moments of like sort of pro-democracy action I've ever seen in my life. Like I got pumped up. Everyone was fired up. And meanwhile, you then like kind of like you cut to the States now where it's like
strongly worded letter.
Strongly worded letter. They're sat in the House of Congress going, "This is not normal."
Yeah.
It's like these scaled fences to defend democracy.
Someone would do something about this.
Do something about it. Whose job is it? Oh, mine. Now, look, the arrest of Hak Jahan, who was the leader of the Unification Church and widow of the church's founder, comes after the arrests of Yoon's wife, Kim Kyun-hee, and the Yoon loyalist lawmaker, Kwon Song-dong. Now, the former First Lady was arrested and charged on allegations of bribery, stock manipulation...
Nancy Pelosi.
I knew you were going to go there. Leave the one out. Roll you in. And meddling in the selection of legislative candidates, which, again, this is just kind of like American politics, right?
Yeah.
This is Capitol Hill.
Very familiar.
Now, it's suspected that she accepted luxury gifts through an intermediary, this sounds like the British politics now, from an official in the Unification Church who was allegedly seeking business favours, such as church participation in a Cambodian development project. They love their former sort of like Soviet satellite states. They're really into, like, if communism was ever big in that country, they are there, and we'll get to it. Now, the lawmaker Kwan is also suspected of receiving 100 million won, which, I mean, sounds less in British sterling. It's just over £53,000.
That's rubbish.
But yeah, from this official, the People Power Party, the PPP, of which Kwan is a member, had their headquarters raided amid claims that the Unification Church members signed up en masse to boost Kwan's candidacy in the 2023 leadership race, which didn't work. So, El Bozo. Now, the church has claimed that the official, Yun Young Ho, acted on his own. They really said this Young Ho was trifling, acting out on his own volition. But Chris, what is the Unification Church? I mean,
I don't know. I promise I don't know anything.
I don't know. Now, speaking of people who will go on hinge dates with me if they say that I'm intellectual, I have to explain that I wasn't looking this up to my date for shits and giggles. I was looking it up for this show. She was like, "Oh, why are you looking up that?" I'm like, "What? I'm not just doing it for fun. I'm not just doing it for fun." Although it was quite fun, because on Easter Sunday 1935, Jesus appeared. That's right. Jesus appeared to 15-year-old Sum Young Moon and said that it was up to him to continue the work of humanity's restoration. So Moon became a preacher after World War II before he was arrested by communist authorities. Ooh. That's right. We start this story in North Korea. Where all great stories begin.
I'm also surprised that now it's the Unification Church of South Korea. Like, isn't a better pitch for Unification Korea?
Well, it's not that. That's not its full name.
Oh, okay.
I'm just placing this for the audience. It primarily bases itself in South Korea. Their leader is in South Korea. We'll get onto its actual proper name soon, because it did do a rebrand 10 years ago. Guys, join me on this adventure. We're having a wild ride. And I'm not talking about my date yesterday. No, the original version of Moon's exposition of divine principle came out in 1945 at the start of his preaching career. But the complete version was published in 1957, so long after the Korean War. But when Moon moved to the US in 1971, the church and its teachings found great success at a time of what sociologist Eileen Barker called alternative religiosity. Now, he was drawn to the United States because of his experiences during the Korean War. His biography claims that he was freed by UN forces in 1950 from his sort of being arrested by the communists, and apparently built his church out of stacks of empty US ration boxes.
Whoa. One strong gust.
One divine breeze.
Is it figurative?
It sounds figurative, but then it also, with these messianic movements, anything that's figurative is legit. Like, they mean it seriously. Well, I say it's legit. I mean, they mean it in a legit way. It's not. His experience made him a staunch anti-communist and firm supporter of Western anti-communist political figures. So, were they then fond of him? We'll find out, because in 1982, Moon founded the Washington Times newspaper to promote conservative viewpoints. Also in the 1980s, Moon served a 13-month sentence in the federal penitentiary for tax evasion and criminal conspiracy.
Wow.
So peak sort of 1980s. If it's 1980s in the United States and you're in charge of like sort of any kind of revivalist or neo-revivalist American sort of Christian denomination, you're going to get in trouble for your taxes. Hello, the Church of the Latter-day Saints. Now, Moon's followers were derisively referred to as Moonies by the American media, with the church being viewed very much like a cult. An image fueled by scenes of mass weddings, including one of 2,500 couples simultaneously in Madison Square Garden, which also happened in 1982. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
I don't know why there's something so sinister about mass wedding.
Yeah. Like, everyone getting to one place.
Getting to an all marrying, because you think it'd be nice.
Do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like the perfect place for a Don't Tell the Bride episode.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, where's he taking me? Where's he taking me? And instead of it being like the social club down the road for a change, it's a mass wedding in Madison Square Garden. Now, through the 90s and the new millennium, the church moved away from the States and made strong footholds in Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union. But throughout the decades, it maintained a strength in South Korea. But since Moon's death in 2012, its biggest headline actually came over the water in Japan.
Ooh.
See, the Japanese government had cracked down on the church, filing for its dissolution and ruling it should return specific donations. This is because members had been bankrupted by the church, including the mother of Tetsuya Yamagami.
That name doesn't sound familiar at all.
No!
I'm sure it won't crop up again.
It won't crop up again. Tetsuya Yamagami went on to live a quiet and peaceful life.
And lived happily ever after. Inside a house made of ration boxes.
Until 2022, when Yamagami assassinated former PM Shinzo Abe over Abe's ties to the church, thrusting the renamed Family Federation for World Peace and Unification back into the spotlight, where it now is taking another dubious position with its relation to South Korea's most controversial leader in a while. I
think the word federation is always going to make your thing sound suspicious. Russian Federation, the Trade Federation.
Well, we're putting it
I never met a federation I liked.
Never met a federation I liked. The phantom menace of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification. Is that what we're saying?
To be fair, I've been cheering on the Federated States of Micronesia in the...
Oh, this is true. Yeah. In their futsal endeavours. Now, as its ties to South Korea's dalliance with martial law and rampant corruption emerge, the future really is in doubt. But there is one more twist. Yes, speaking of Star Wars, there is another. There are actually two churches.
What?
Yes. Moon's son, Hyungjin Moon, set up splinter group The Sanctuary Church in Pennsylvania after his father's death and his mother took over the Unification Church. Their website is now currently filled with news articles of his mother's arrests as signs of her failed leadership. They're dancing on the grave of it right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pennsylvania is statistically the easiest place to set up a splinter church.
Yeah, I think that's when most of them set themselves up about 150 years ago. But yeah, he's smoking on that unification pack. It's really something quite special. But look, for me, this is the story that has sort of like occupied all my brain function this week. But Chris, I feel like this story has really spoken to your soul.
It really has. Speaking of, smoking on that pack, here's a group of people who've been smoking on something a little bit harder. Because this week, the new Gurning World Championships were held in Egremont in Cumbria as part of the Egremont Crab Fair.
Oh, yeah.
It's so named because of a young boy who used to throw crab apples way back in 1267.
Keeping the tradition alive.
Yeah, indeed. So Gurning, if you don't know, is pulling a stupid face. Matty?
Ooh.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now, for all our audio listeners, that was horrific.
Yeah.
I'd be in her ear like,
I like the fourth one you pulled.
That was just my... Oh.
In this context, is gurning through a horse's collar. Much like grinning through a horse's collar for a cake, as part of the Cooper's Hill cheese roll, which we also covered in episode 3.
We love these little folk dealings around the country.
Dealings?
I was going to say Let's be having yak!
Let's have a dealing.
Let's have a dealia.
So Ryan Barton in the middle for you, for you, Matty.
For me.
For our listeners and watchers, we'll link all these photos in the show notes. Ryan Barton's in the middle. He dedicated the victory to his uncle, Peter Jackman, who, according to the event organisers, was another gurning legend.
Wow.
I think... Nepo, because look at these guys. They're gurning but they're gurn maxing.
I think, yeah, he's getting outgurned. Like, they're like, this is the sort of Cumbrian equivalent of getting mocked.
Yeah, I mean, look at that bald guy on his shoulder.
Which one?
Goodness. Well, there are two, but
there are two
on his just directly on his shoulder.
Yeah, go into the links, go into the descriptions of the episode right now and see what we're talking about. This is pretty wild.
Barton's victory dethroned 19-time champion Tommy Mattinson, who was unable to compete due to ill health.
I mean that feels like a bit unfair. You know?
It's
a paper trophy. This is like when Michael Jordan went to play baseball and then Hakeem won 2 championships. Like, yeah, Hakeem, you're great. But would the Rockets have won those championships against the Bulls?
Well, who knew that this would cause health problems? Like, it looks really healthy.
It looks really healthy to do that to your face.
The women's world champion was Lynn Kelly, who's pictured here. I'd say I don't know why it's gender segregated, to be honest.
Lynn Kelly in that picture looks like when I did Liz Truss in drag as part of the Snatch game at Warwick.
It looks like she's got her head through a toilet seat. That'll be the horse's
literally
collar.
the horse. Yeah, like all that thing she's got through her head might be the horse's collar.
And she's pulling a funny face. I don't know why.
What's going on here?
So she dethroned a multiple-time world champion Claire Lister, but Claire Lister's daughter did win the junior gurning. Another nepo baby. She can't really gurn that one.
It's a family affair.
I'm not gonna have a go at her.
Yeah.
Her diminutive spawn.
And I have been spawn. I have been criticised for, and we've been criticised for taking shots at the rest of the country because we sound like snobs. But I mean, where's this event taking place? Cumbria
In Egremont.
Yeah. Have we considered that everyone's a nepo baby in Cumbria? Because I mean,
Matty,
you can all trace it. Anyway,
the Crab Fair had other events too. The Greasy Pole, and Cumberland and Westmoreland Wrestling.
Oh. Combined?
Yeah.
We wrestling on that greasy pole?
Wrestling on that Cumberland.
Wait, hang on. Cumberland and Westmoreland wrestling. Are they wrestling sausages? What's the...
The sausages are probably involved, but it's a style. It's like Greco-Roman.
Okay.
Cumberland and Westmoreland.
Cumberland, Westmoreland, Greco-Roman sausages. Yeah.
So the Crab Fair, and I'm scared to turn the page because of this man's face.
Oh.
It's been held, as I said, since 1267.
Yeah.
We don't make the news up on this show, despite this entire episode sounding completely made up.
Sometimes we feel like we're caught in a slow news week, and then we realise that a kid threw some crab apples in 1267, and they made a whole festival about it for 800 years.
Yeah. Sometimes we think we're in a slow news week, but we realise we can literally say anything. It's our show. So it's been held since 1267, and you should know that by now because I've said it 3 times.
If you don't know me by now.
You used to have cockfighting and bull baiting until they were banned in the 19th century.
So hang on, we've got greasy poles,
Cumberland,
Westmoreland wrestling,
Greasy Cumberland, cockfighting
and bull
gurning through my horse's collar. And there's also a pipe smoking race, and I quote, eating biskies and treacle.
Okay.
Because that sounds quite hard to do.
Yeah, biskies. I mean, finally something that doesn't sound like the Kama Sutra of the Northwest.
There's a couple of theories, Matty, about where gurning comes from.
Okay.
So, theory number 1 is mockery of the village idiot.
Which is you to me on this show.
Townspeople would throw a collar over his head and make him pull funny faces in exchange for a few pints of ale.
I mean,
it's a good deal.
That's a damn good deal. I'd take that deal.
Another story from the Crab Fair website reads as follows. When a drunken farmer arrived home to find a most discontented wife, he shouted, "Stop gurning, woman," and thrust a horse collar over her head. At this, her facial expressions, to say nothing of the language, became even worse. You can't do that anymore.
Dudes rock.
You can't do that anymore.
Can't say anything anymore. Can't through a horse collar and you go,
I love being a man. No, it is. Oh, no. The rule...
What? The rule? It is not simply about making the most grotesque face possible. Come on.
I'm once again writing a script that I can't understand when I come to read it. It's as Matty says, it's not about making the most grotesque face possible. So stop gurning at the camera, Matty.
Sorry. I'm not.
Oh. Emergency surgery. Neil Hopper needed.
When's the face-off episode of New Sensation where we swap faces?
It's actually about making the biggest transformation in your face. You could win a competition even if you were good looking to start with. But that's not a problem for Javante Carter, who is pictured here. He won the Guinness World Record for longest duration gurning with the lower lip covering the nostrils at 1 minute 21.
Right.
And he's, like many of the best gurners, has no teeth. Because it gives you more wiggle room. It's like when Marilyn Manson removed his ribs. And I'm afraid to see a picture of a goat on this page because this is a picture of Anne Woods, who won the Women's World Champs 28 times.
Oh my God.
She passed away in 2015, unfortunately.
Rest in peace.
So 10-year anniversary, but was proud of her title, the world's ugliest woman. And she would perform... This is fast becoming episode of the rest
and in her death, she was replaced... In the face of her death, she was replaced by your mother. Not Chris's mother,
who was undefeated every year since. But no, she would perform a 4-minute gurning routine to the song You're Gorgeous by Baby Bird.
Beautiful.
She once lost to local rival Pauline Hoyle, who would shout, "It's a fix," each time Anne Woods won. So 28 "It's a fixes." And she once suffered a shock defeat to TV presenter Michaela Strachan, who was pictured here. Again, that's nowhere near as good as Anne Woods.
I mean, that's just publicity.
That's eminently achievable.
Yeah.
So I'm arriving at the conclusion that the Egremont Crab Fair organisers are just a bunch of brown noses.
I think that's true. I love how that's the mighty conclusion to your piece. Like, they just love sticking it up. No.
The more I hear about them, the more I don't care for them.
They do have like a strange history of like disrespecting women, it seems, because even when they've got the goat and words, they just can't help but give it to some poser from Dancing on Ice.
Maybe they took your immediate reaction on reacting to that story and said, "Oh, boys rule,
boys rule, dudes rock,
boys rule, no girls allowed in my tree house."
Speaking of something that used to be a boys' club, but is now a bit more of an open field. No, we're not talking about your party. We're talking about the Course de Café, the famous waiter race in Paris that returned from a big hiatus last year and is now going strong again. That's right, garçon, vite, vite, hurry up, I need my tiramisu.
What I don't get is why they call them waiters, for it is I who waits.
They wait upon you.
Yeah, I'm waiting upon them.
I'm waiting upon them.
Bring my goddamn... Anyway.
Where's my croissant? Uh-huh. Where's my pen de almond? Uh-huh. Anyway, it's a historic competition racing through the streets of Paris in the seeking of the achievement of ultimate glory. What else could it be but the Course de Café? Not possibly the Tour de France, which I did see live. Throw that one out there.
I'd rather not. I'd rather stay at home.
What? Than see the Tour de France?
I'd rather go to a sensory deprivation tank. No, that's a bit much. But
we were there outside of Moulin Rouge seeing it, so we saw the can-can dancers.
Is it an appropriate FPL forfeit to go and see the Tour de France? Did you see the guy who got waterboarded?
Yes!
As the FPL forfeit?
Yes! Fellas, speaking of dudes rock, if we're doing FPL and we're taking it seriously this year, if your mate has a shocking week because he captained Mateus Cunha when he did his leg, can we not waterboard each other?
He is a war crime.
It's a war crime. Like, ultimately, we're not Burkina Faso here. We're not pulling out the ICC. Like, let's get a grip. Speaking of dudes rock gone wrong, Burkina Faso recently, woof. Anyway, last Sunday, the 400 racers power walked down the boulevards of the Marais district in full cafe clobber with the aim to deliver intact a cup of coffee, a glass of water, and a croissant faster than the rest, which I must say is an elite breakfast.
It is.
It's the way to go. Now, the Paris competition, despite its charms, only just returned from hiatus. A funding crisis toppled it in 2011, forcing a 13-year gap between that competition and the 2024 revival. Wow. But there's no such wait this time. Fortunately, it's going strong. Now, when it came back, I believe this was when they changed the name, because it was originally Course de Garçon de Café, I believe. Again, garçon, vite. But they wanted to make it more open. Because they used to be a predominantly male field, and then they're like, well, actually, no, there's loads of women servers around around Paris. So we've got to embrace that. Now, though held around the world, Paris's waiter race holds a special place, thanks to the city's strong cafe culture. And let me tell you, there's so many bloody cafes there. It's insane.
I know.
Now, it was marketed upon its return in March 2024 as promoting the excellence of French service, which...
I mean, it took them 13 years in 2011 to deliver them. So...
It took them 13 years to come back with my tray. Unbelievable. Whilst also raising awareness, and this is very good, for staffing issues in the city's hotels and restaurants. Because as a city that has a massive service industry...
That's pretty good.
They need more service, yeah.
I personally am in favour of replacing everyone with AI. Everybody.
What?
Them first.
Them
You know,
first.
there's robots.
Well,
who-
Parisians, I'm down for that.
Yeah, the robots who come. If you spoke to them in French, they'd speak back in French.
Yeah,
The robot.
yeah. Okay, but look, I will say this. Actually, I had a very good experience at so many different cafes and restaurants.
Oh, yeah, I love Paris.
We like to tease, but they are wonderful.
We like to have a go.
We like to have a go, but honestly, but there is also nothing better, because a robot would dumb it down for you, and I don't want that. There's
No.
nothing better than a waiter who's like not confident in their English, and someone buying their food who's not confident in their French, trying to cobble together a joint conversation, and the look in your eyes when you get through it and go, yes, I know exactly what we're talking about now.
I really don't want somebody to a robot to be asking me, did you enjoy your experience today?
No.
I want a Parisian waiter to not ask.
Yeah. I want a Parisian waiter to take the piss.
Yeah.
I want a cheeky boy, all right? Now, quality of service is essential to the race. Stop it. With time penalties for spillages, with a 30-second penalty in power walking, no less, for spilling water below a 10-centimetre line.
Wow.
Now, I'm of the opinion that spillage means leakage, but this is a different kind of rules. That's the old university student union rules.
Or spillage if you're in France.
Spillage means
Is
leakage.
leakage.
Yeah.
Spillage, c'est leakage.
Now, this year lacks one of the key draws of last year, which was that one of the top prizes, so like first place, got tickets to the Olympic opening ceremony.
Wow.
Yeah, last year.
You tell me they don't douse them in Gatorade?
Or like give them a big,
Chablis.
a massive edible Pop-Tart mascot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, American college football does it much better. But yeah, it must be said that like if last year it's like, oh, you win, you get to see Celine Dion live, and then this year it's like you get a voucher.
Yeah.
Game's gone. No wonder it had a funding crisis for years. They didn't have Celine on the venue, but you know.
You get to go to the Egremont Crab Fair.
The winner gets to be the ultimate gunner. The representation.
I've not saying anything about the French. I think they do very well.
I think they do very, very well. Well, I mean, it's all the garlic breast milk. But the British equivalent, which is the Soho Waiters Race, has been running since the 1950s, with bottles of Prosecco on the trays, which is actually an homage to the old Parisian system of having bottles of wine.
What, and taking since the 1950s to deliver it?
Yes, absolutely. Now, the rest of the UK does have similar competitions, but we use pints of beer because we're civilized places. Coffee, water, and croissant. I mean, the croissant is there because they couldn't, I think, legally promote cigarette use. I was eating all the pastries when I was there. Oh, let me tell you, a pano au menthe is what you want to go for.
Ooh, like almond.
Yeah. Yeah. Foie. Now, look.
This is slowly becoming a food podcast.
It really is a food podcast. It's because we get so hungry recording
Garlic
this.
breast milk. Yeah, right before
Garlic breast milk.
Right before lunch.
Yeah. Now, like I said, early iterations did involve that sort of bottle of wine, 3 glasses kind of thing. And the race also used to be much longer. So not only did you have, but it was probably a much heavier tray. But the wine tray they had to carry for nearly 5 miles, as opposed to the current 1.2 mile track. I mean,
Wow.
It's just soft. The game's gone. You know, but if it couldn't get more French than lugging a bunch of wine, coffee, croissants around the streets of Paris, last year's revival included a tribute by Vogue with 15 dancers with wine-laden trays on the Place Vendôme in waiter jackets and bow ties by Paris fashion house Versac, who described themselves on their page as unmistakably French.
Yeah, that's pretty French.
That's pretty French.
That's pretty French.
They all also stopped the race halfway through, went home, gave up. No. Now, bless you. If they were going for accuracy, they should do a race with what ended up being mine and Sam's go-to order when we were in Paris. Me and my best buddy. At the end of the night, we would go to the cafe across from our hostel, which our order would be a pint of craft beer and a tiramisu.
Oh, lovely.
And they would always look at us, because Sam would always order first, it should be noted. And he'd go, un pint de bitter. And I was just there like, yes, and a tiramisu, please. Although one night I did mix it up and got the creme brulee.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, very nice.
They all sound
indeed.
like great snacks for the audience to enjoy while they listen to all those previous episodes that we name dropped.
Yes.
And if you're listening on YouTube or Spotify, please do hit subscribe, follow, whatever the lingo is these days.
The lingo is.
I'm not abreast.
and give us a little bit of a cheeky rating if you feel like it.
Yeah.
You can like the episode on YouTube, and you can just drop a little little 5-star.
Yeah.
Or you can be like all my friends on Letterboxd, where they really thoroughly enjoy something and give it 3 stars because their star system matters more than just enjoying something.
Leave a glowing comment.
Something along the lines of, wow, what an attractive pair of sniffly young chaps.
Oh, God.
Public intellectuals.
It's so
business
dusty.
enthusiasts.
Dusty in the stew.
Maybe that's you. Have you thought about that?
Maybe it's a bit me. I am Dusty Springfield. But
he is Dusty Springfield.
For this week only, I've been Chris Patel.
And I've been Matty Curry.
Thank you for listening.